Hi everyone, I want to read you a story special for Passover. It's called Nachshon, who was afraid to swim. In the days when Pharaoh ruled and the pyramids cast their shadows over Egypt, there lived an Israelite slave named Nachshon. Nachshon's parents, grandparents, and even his great-great-grandparents had lived as slaves. But Nachshon knew that long ago his family had been free, and he dreamed of freedom every night. From dawn to dusk, under the midday rays of the sun, Nachshon's father and brothers toiled in the quarries, mixing straw and mud into bricks. Nachshon slipped past the taskmasters and smuggled in cool drinking water for them. Neither the Egyptian taskmasters nor Pharaoh himself scared the young boy. His family began to call him Brave Nachshon. When Pharaoh and his royal courtiers arrived in the city market, most slaves fled in fear, but not Nachshon. He trailed behind and spied on them. Whatever Nachshon learned, he reported it to the Israelite elders. Soon everyone began calling him Brave Nachshon. See Nachshon hiding and listening as he spied on Pharaoh and his courtiers. Nachshon, though, had one fear. In the evening, when most slaves took a cool swim in the river Nile, Nachshon stood anxiously on the river's edge. He put his toes in the water and trembled. Some days, he imagined a giant crocodile grabbing his legs, and other days he pictured himself sinking slowly to the river's bottom, as though bricks were tied to him. The other slaves began calling him Brave Nachshon, who is afraid to swim. You see the people there swimming? And there on the side of the river, there's Nachshon. When Nachshon grew old enough, the taskmasters demanded that he join his father and brothers in the quarries. Each day was long, dull, and dusty. The years passed slowly. As much as he dreamed of freedom, Nachshon feared he would always be a slave. There's the taskmaster, and then the people working, the slaves working, and there's Nachshon at the end. Just when Nachshon began to give up hope, a stranger arrived, promising freedom for the Israelites. News of the visitor spread like a sandstorm. Nachshon ran to the riverbank to join the crowd, waiting to hear him speak. His name is Moses, whispered a fellow slave. He says he is an Israelite, but was raised in the royal palace until Pharaoh learned his true identity. Then he ran away. He says that God has sent him back to Egypt to demand our freedom. Here's Nachshon running, and the people waiting to listen too. There he is in the green there. That's Moses. Nachshon's heart leaped at the sight. Moses' face glowed like the sun, and his eyes glistened like the stars. He held a sapphire blue shepherd's staff, carved in the shape of a serpent. Though he spoke haltingly, his message was clear. You must have faith that freedom is possible, Moses proclaimed. Holding his staff toward the heavens, he said, real freedom means trusting in God. Real freedom means believing in yourself. Here's Moses and his staff. That evening, their hope renewed, the Israelite slaves played in the cool waters of the Nile. Brave Nachshon, come celebrate with us, called his friends. Even today, with the possibility of freedom, are you still afraid to swim? Moses saw Nachshon hesitate. He walked over, bent down, and whispered into the boy's ear. Real freedom means facing your fears and overcoming them. Nachshon looked at the river and repeated Moses' words to himself. It took all his courage just to dangle his legs into the current and splash some water on his body. Here they are in the river Nile, and there's Nachshon and Moses by his side. The next morning, Moses approached Pharaoh and demanded freedom for the Israelites. Pharaoh's heart was hard. He not only rejected the plea, he made the Israelites work even harder. But Moses told the people not to give up hope. God will send plagues over Egypt to soften Pharaoh's heart, he predicted. You see Pharaoh sitting on his throne and Moses standing before him, telling him to let the people go. The plagues did not frighten Nachshon. When God sent frogs, Nachshon caught a pair in a basket and let his nephews and nieces play with them. When God sent locusts, Nachshon picked each and every insect off the few vegetables in his family's small garden. And when God made the land pitch black with light only in Israelite homes, Nachshon ventured outside to check on other people. You can see the frogs and the locusts there. And here's Nachshon outside during the plague of darkness. Finally, Pharaoh gave in. He told Moses to take the Israelites and leave. Nachshon and his family packed quickly, without time even to let their bread rise. The Israelites headed to the Sea of Reeds and camped on its shores. There were the people camping out by the Sea of Reeds. Suddenly, in the distance, the Israelites heard a strange noise. First, it sounded like rain, then like a large swarm of hornets, then like a herd of gazelles. Nachshon ran to the top of a small cliff and looked in the direction of the noise. It was the sound of chariots. "The Egyptians are coming," he cried out. The Israelites wept with fear. They were trapped between the advancing Egyptians and the Sea of Reeds. Nachshon knew what he must do. Moses' words echoed in his mind. Real freedom means trusting in God. Real freedom means believing in yourself. Real freedom means facing your fears and overcoming them. Here are the horses, the Egyptian horses, pulling the chariots. Can you picture the chariots too? Nachshon stepped slowly into the sea. The water rose from his toes to his ankles, to his knees, to his waist, then to his shoulders, to his chin, and to his lips. Nachshon repeated silently, "Face your fears. Have faith." Just as the water was about to cover his head, a miracle occurred. Moses lifted his staff to the heavens, and a strong east wind pushed back the waters, creating a dry path through the sea. And all the Israelites joined Nachshon and walked with him to freedom. Here he is with the water all the way up to his chin. And here is the sea split with Nachshon walking by Moses' side and the Israelites behind them. When they reached the opposite shore, the Israelites broke into song, but Nachshon simply waded in the sea and let the cool waters remind him that he was free, free from slavery and free from his fears. See them singing and dancing and playing tambourine there? And there's Nachshon, happy to be free. Nachshon, who is afraid to swim. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Passover. Have wonderful Seders. Sing a lot and have a great time. Chag Sameach.